Okay, so we're going to talk about some very basic variations for a basic money beat with a pair of brushes on a snare drum. And essentially what we're thinking about is just keeping 2 and 4 with the left hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can do all kinds of sounds like a flat or a slap or a tick, but for right now we're going to do that basic tap, just like a regular vertical drum set stick stroke where you're just going down and lifting up. The variety is going to come from the eighth notes in the right hand. And actually, bring the phone a little towards me so you can get what's happening with my wrist here as well. Good. There you go. So what I'm going to do here essentially is I'm going to do either vertical taps. That's 8 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Or I can think about it as those flicks we talked about last lesson, where we're thinking about moving this way. And again, you're thinking about using your wrist, that turning motion. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So vertical taps, flicks. Do that sequence. Taps, flicks. Your flicks can start, you can do out, in, doesn't matter, or in, out, it really doesn't matter, but that you're getting that contrast and movement. Don't do this, don't drag it yet. Minimize the amount of time that the brush spends on the drum head. Flick, 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 flick. Now, once you've got that, the last sound is a sweep. We did longer sweeps last week when we were doing that Wiro pattern. For right now, think about making sure the sweeps aren't so long that you lose the beat. 1 and 2 and. So sweep and then lift. Sweep, lift, and then go the opposite direction. Sweep, lift. So practice that very slowly. Sweep, lift, then do 2 in a row. Sweep out, sweep in. That's sweep, lift, a little faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So just isolate that. That's probably the hardest of all of them. Now, what I recommend doing before we add in that backbeat in left hand is do cycles or sequences where you do 2 measures of each of these. So we're going to do 2 measures of taps, 2 measures of flicks, 2 measures of sweeps. Very slowly. 1, 2, 3, counting eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, I'll leave it a little more in the frame so you can see what my wrist is doing. 3 and 4. Now flicks. 1 and sweeps. Back to taps. Do that for like 10 minutes. Don't do anything else. And then when you're ready, say, okay, I'm just going to do one of those sounds, maybe just the taps because it's the easiest, and see if I can do it with the backbeat. Like we talked about in our lesson earlier today, make sure that you're not flamming and that you're also not getting a flat or a tick. You're really getting just a regular old tap, and what helps is make sure that the brushes are at the same height so you're getting an even sound. You don't want your right hand higher than your left hand. That will also increase the chances of it being a flam because one hand is going to hit before the other. So even brush height, or stick height people would say, but it's brushes, so we'll call it brush height. And so I recommend going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and do that. Just do even. And then when you're ready, add in the taps. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One thing we talk about today too, right? You want to avoid getting the brushes tangled up. So if you kind of think about different spheres, you can kind of think about, I like to sometimes think about like a semicircle down here and then a semicircle up here, and I have this imaginary line kind of dividing so that my hands aren't getting caught. Right? So that's another thing you can do. So I'm going to do that approach with this exercise. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All I'm getting is a little extra oomph because I'm adding extra mass and creating more sound on beat 2 and 4, the back beat. 3 and 4 and. Same thing but with flicks. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. No flams, right? We don't want that. And then the last one, I think the hardest, is the sweeps. 1 and Start a very slow tempo. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and sweeps.